Mississippi offers many great vacation spots and weekend getaways, even for folks who have lived here a long time. And many folks may stay closer to home for a summer vacation because of inflation and high gas prices. This morning, we have a live interview with Visit Mississippi Director Craig Ray, who can tell us about some of the Magnolia State's exciting destinations. Good morning, Mr. Ray, and thanks so much for joining us so early.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Welcome, Northeast Mississippi from Jackson, Mississippi. Looking forward to sharing some great things to do here in the state of Mississippi.
And hey, I love that. I am a Central Mississippi girl, and I'm now in North Mississippi, and I would just say that has really expanded my love for the state. Now, what are some ideas that you have that people in Northeast Mississippi can take part in for a budget-friendly holiday weekend trip?
Well, in Northeast Mississippi, as you mentioned, what we would call a staycation is a way to see your own city and region through the eyes of a tourist. So here's some activities that we would recommend in Northeast Mississippi. Some of these might be obvious, but great choices. The Elvis Tupelo self-guided bicycle tour takes you through a journey of 14 significant places in his life there in the city of Tupelo, and bicycles are available for rent at the Hotel Tupelo. If it's too hot to bike, a similar tour is drivable by car. Also in Tupelo, you can visit the Elvis Presley birthplace and museum, as well as the Tupelo hardware store, where Elvis Presley's mother bought his very first guitar. Another place in Northeast Mississippi getting a lot of publicity here as of recently, I would recommend the city of Oxford. What a beautiful downtown square for shopping and dining, home of William Faulkner. You can visit various tourist places there and historic places, and recently now the home of the national champions Ole Miss baseball Rebels. So great place to visit.
And you know, kind of just going off of that a little bit, I think that is so great for Mississippi that we are not only the national champs for college baseball this year, but last year Mississippi State University won. So it's going to be soon enough, if not already, that Mississippi will be where you want to play baseball for your college career. And, you know, I do feel like you've mentioned some places here in Tupelo, the hardware store, Elvis's birthplace, and if you live here, I feel like you kind of take advantage of that in a way, just because you're like, oh, it's there all the time. Now, what extent do you think Mississippians are unaware of the weekend getaway activities that are available right where they may live?
Well, we are always encouraging Mississippians to learn more about our state. And one of our great programs that we recommend is our Mississippi Trail Marker programs. These are 4 cultural trails: our Mississippi Blues Trail, the Country Music Trail, the Freedom Trail, and the Riders Trail, which is a newer trail as of the last couple of years. All in all, over 300 markers around the state of Mississippi, 7 states and 5 countries. But those programs are easily accessible to reach in regions all over the state. These trails are heralded as one of the most innovative tourism infrastructures in the region, and just as variable contributions to the American tourism assets from Mississippi. It's also a successful program that encourages our tourists as locals to follow in the footsteps of our national heroes nationwide.
That is a great answer, and definitely agree with all of that. Now, with everything going on right now, what are you seeing and maybe hearing about Mississippi's summer tourism traffic as the nation continues to suffer from inflation and these high gas prices?
Well, even through that, we're hearing and seeing that folks will continue to travel despite inflation, high gas prices. They are just budgeting differently. We're seeing from AAA that they estimate 42 million people will be taking trips during the 4th of July, including air travel. 47.9 people will be traveling for the weekend. And it's estimated about 3.5 people will be traveling by air. So still seeing a lot of travel throughout the country and throughout the South, and just noting that the inflation cost, that it should keep people more here in the state, local driving. People still want to take their vacations, and they might travel one day less and maybe spend more at dining or more at their hotels. So we still anticipate a lot of travel here in the state this weekend.
Well, I've definitely got to ask this question. We are in Tupelo, birthplace of Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, and you and I were talking a little bit about it in the commercial break. What impact do you think that the new movie Elvis could have on tourism here in Mississippi?
Well, I think long term, there's a great opportunity. Short term, there's a lot of discovery, seeing the movie, wanting to learn more about um, Mississippi and Memphis, his home. But there are many opportunities. We look to working with our tourism partners, not only across the state, but in Memphis and Tupelo, to leverage these opportunities. We are pitching international stories to media, so tourists will know and welcome to visit Mississippi and see the birthplace of the king. So we think there's a lot of opportunities long term. It's heard it's a great movie. Haven't seen it yet. Plan to see it this weekend.
Well, we just had a week-long special on the King of Rock and Roll and his impact here in Tupelo and North Mississippi last week. It was a great time and definitely learned a lot. Did get to see the movie, and it is good, and it may make you tear up a little bit at the end. And Mr. Ray, we do really appreciate your time. I've got to say, you have an exciting job.
Well, thank you for having me. I hope everyone has a wonderful, safe weekend. Stay in the state, spend all your money here in Mississippi, and there's so many great things to do and see. So enjoy your weekend and go see Elvis if you haven't yet.
I agree with you, and hey, happy 4th of July.
You too. Thank you.